This eye look is going to be completely finished at the end of the video, but I'm doing a whole look using some new makeup, some eyelashes, and you're going to see all of the details of that in another video. So let's get into it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to prime our eyes. This is really important. See that I have some discoloration. You can see my veins and everything. That's where this comes in. Now, sadly, I don't know what's going on with this. This is from NARS, and I don't know if this is going to be, I don't know what's happening. I was going to order a backup, and I didn't see any. So I hope they're not discontinuing it. I hope they're not changing the formula, because I really like this one from NARS. It conceals really well. It prevents my shadows from creasing. I love it. By doing this, I'm going to make a better base by doing this. And see the little bit that I use? Don't use too much, okay? You just need a tiny amount. You don't have to go crazy with this. I'm going to go in and I want to put my transition shadow down. So what that is going to do is this going to help all of my shadows blend out seamlessly. So if I went in right away and I just used a dark shadow, it would be hard to get rid of that line and it wouldn't look blended in. So I like to go in with a transition color. See how nice and smooth and seamless that looks? That's what I like. I like to have a nice, smooth, seamless look. I don't want to have like a line there. I want it to look really blended. And this is going to make it a lot easier. This isn't about the palettes. I will show you what I'm using, okay? But I am going to go in with this color right here. So it's a little bit lighter than my, it's a little bit darker than my own skin tone. So I try to get something that's as close as possible to my skin tone. I'll even use, like, I've used bronzers before. You can use a bronzer, something like that. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to take, my first brush I'm going to use is my rougher number 16 brush. It's a nice fluffy brush. I'm going to dip this in here. I always tap my brush. The reason that I tap my brush is because you're going to get so much fallout if you don't, okay? So I have so many people say, you know, you're tapping your brush. You have to. You have to tap that off. It doesn't matter what eyeshadow I use. I always have to tap it off. And I'm not wearing my foundation yet, but I still like to do that. And I didn't put concealer under this eye yet, by the way, either, because I knew I was going to do this. But anyways, so we're going to go in with this. We're going to hold our brush back like this. We're not going to apply our shadow like this, or like, we want to hold it back, because when you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to have less pressure on the brush. And when you have less pressure on the brush as you're blending it, it's going to blend in really, really nicely. So I'm going to get my mirror. You want to have a mirror that's close to you. This one's a 10 times mirror. I picked this one up several years ago at Ulta. There's no brand name, but I have to have one that's close up. And then I have a mirror that's far away from me as well. It's good to have two perspectives, because you may look at it close up and think it's blended, but then you're going to look far away and say, oh, I can see this or that. So it's good to have two. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to start putting this in on my lid and my crease area. And I'm going to add a little bit more of this too. But the key is when you're applying it, you just want to use really light pressure. And I'll do little swirlies. I'll go back and forth on it like that. And you kind of see a little bit of a color going on. It's very, very light and subtle. Go in. I'm just using this, and this is my Natasha Denona Dream palette. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to use this color right here, kind of like that brown color. Taking the same brush, I'm going to dip it in there. Then I'm going to do this. I'm going to go on the edge here a little bit, really lightly. And I'm going to start bringing it up here. This isn't going to be the only color that I put on, but I'm just doing this in layers to build it up. You don't have to use this many colors. Okay, you can do an eyeshadow with 3 looks, with 3 shadows, 2 shadows, whatever. This is just, I just want to show you how to blend it so it all blends out seamlessly. So again, I'm just going in here really lightly and just blending this out. And do a little bit of color at a time, okay? You can keep building it up. Again, I'm going to go in here, just adding a little bit more, going back on that, and then bringing it up. So most of the color is going to be on this outside corner, which is what I want. It's all about building up that color and just blending this out. I'm going to go in with my BK Beauty number 207. Okay. And I am going to go in with this color right here. Now I'm going to apply that right on this outer corner. I'm not going to bring it up. I am going to blend it up there, but I mainly want to keep it right here. I don't want to bring it in this lid space here. I just want to keep it on the outside. And what I like to do this, I just feel like it gives my outer corner a little bit of a lift. Now, if you have really heavily hooded eyes, then you just have to adjust how you're applying it. My eyes used to be more hooded than they were. They're really not anymore. But when my eyes were hooded, I always made sure that I was getting that color up here. And just blending this out. And again, I go back and forth in my mirror so I can see what I'm doing. Now, as I'm blending this darker shadow, I'm going to go back and I'm going to use this color first. That was my first transition color on that same brush. And I'm just going to just blend it like that. It's always good to do little bits at a time, again, because once you put too much color down, you can tone it down, but it's easier if you just keep building it. Now, I am going to use my finger today to apply the shimmer from this palette. I just find that some of these shimmers just work better if I do it that way. I'm just going to use these two shimmers. Wait, I did it wrong. These two shimmers right there from the Natasha Denona palette. Just using a little bit of both on my finger, and then I'm going to apply it. I like to use a shimmer. If you're not comfortable with that, then use, you can go in and mix like a color like this and that transition color, kind of mix them together and do a look. I did a whole look on mattes, and I don't know if it's going to be out. I think it'll be out before this video, I believe. And then once I do that, I will go back in with my fluffy brush, and I just want to make sure that that edge there is blended so it doesn't look like I just put that shimmer down. I don't want to blend the shimmer over here, but I just want to really gently just blend it a little bit just to soften that edge. I'm going to go into a little bit more. Now you can see why I did not do my concealer yet, just in case I have any fallout from the shimmer. If you did apply too much color and you feel like, oh, I added too much and it's just not blending, you don't want it to get muddy. So there's two things that you can do. Besides using the transition color, if you feel like that's just not working for me, you can go ahead and take a powder, like something like this. Doesn't have to be this, but like a really, really fine powder, and just put a little bit of that on the edges just to kind of blend it out. Another thing that you can do, just have to be careful doing this because you don't want to have too much product, is you can take a little bit of your foundation that you have on, okay, and put a little bit on the back of your hand, just the tiniest amount, okay, teeny tiny, and get a brush like this. This is my Fit Glow Beauty brush that I've shared with you guys. Use a brush like this, put that little bit on, get as much off as you can because you don't want much on. Then you can take it and just lightly put it on the edges there, and it'll just kind of blend it out. I'm going to show you how to do a really, really quick wing liner. I shared it in a shorts video a while back by the time this goes up. So I'm just going to go in and go with that same eyeshadow that I used on my outer corner. This is from BK Beauty, and this is the brush number 208 brush. It's a teeny angled liner brush. I believe I did that on that side, yeah. I'm not doing my whole eye. I don't always do my whole eye because I feel like when you do a half eye, it actually looks a little bit more lifted. So I'm going in on this outer corner here. See that? Just bringing it up. And that's all you have to do. That is it. A BK Beauty brush number 204. So this is the smudge brush. I'm going to take that same brown shadow and I'm going to start here because it's going to have more color pigmentation on the outer corner where I place it first, and that's where I want it. So I want to put it here, and it's going to kind of connect where that where I put my wing liner. And then I'm going to start bringing it in here. And don't worry if it looks sloppy, because we're going to go in and fix that and soften it up. Boy, I really got sloppy right here. I might have to fix my concealer, but that's okay. We're going to go in here. This is my Fit Glow Beauty brush, by the way. Okay. And I'm just going in. I will find this brush for you and I'll link it below. This is my final eye look. And by the way, I am wearing some new lashes, which you are going to see before this video. So I'll tell you what they are. They are the BK Beauty Risa collaboration and the Martini lashes. So those are the ones that are just on the end there. So that's what you have to do to create that nice blended look. You got to use good brushes. Number one, you really, really do. I didn't really talk about that, but I love BK Beauty brushes. I love rougher brushes. I don't have many more, but I used to have some Real Technique brushes. Those are really, really good if you're on a budget. Cosmetic brushes, I've used those before. Some Sigma brushes are nice. Not all of them are. Personally, I don't like all of them. But good brushes make a big, big difference. Make sure that you are priming your eyeshadow first, your eyes first with the eyeshadow primer. Don't use a concealer or foundation. It's just not going to work as well. A primer is specifically made for your eye area. And if you have oily lids, dryness, a concealer and a foundation just is not the best choice. And I've heard that from makeup artists. So I'm just telling you, really an eyeshadow primer is best. And always make sure too, the way that you're holding your brush, hold it back. Don't hold it like this and blend it. Hold it back and you want to do really, it's like you're barely touching, when you're blending, you're barely touching the skin. You're not going in there, just really, really gently doing that. And then you're going to get a really, really pretty blended look like that. So I really hope that this video was helpful and informative, and you even got to see how I created a little wing, although now you can't see it as much because I have the lashes on, but you did see it. But I really do hope that you enjoyed this video. I really hope that it was helpful. And if you're new here, would love to have you join. I share new videos every single week. So smash that subscribe button below, and I will catch you guys all in my next video. Bye.